Good evening, everyone. Welcome. This is Dr. Rao. I was watching the news hour this evening, and they were covering the news, healthcare bill, and what's going on with our, you know, uh, the ACA discounts that they were not able to renew, and 22 million people are going to lose their health care because um, four of the Republicans switched side, and then they wanted to um, get the bill rolling in the House, but they will only do it in the January because Congress is going home tomorrow, so they won't be able to do them before these ACA, discounts that were going out of whack. So everybody is going to either lose or the premium is going to be very high. And then they had a segment coverage on health savings account, which I was familiar with because I knew in 90s when it was introduced, when the Bush time was there, and that man, he's Robert Goodman, he's the author who had, they brought him, and he was interviewed, right? So they were talking about this alternative that people have, health savings account, but still health savings accounts in the beginning may not cost much, but as you become sick more, it will be more expensive. So it's not ideal thing either. So we were uh, discussing about and then there was a statement made at the end of the day. American healthcare is expensive, but it does not help America to be healthy. So true. And I always been saying that from the 1980s, 90s, because I found a lot of money spent on the health care, but people are getting chronically ill. That number is increasing. People are getting mentally ill and not getting really so. So this single sentence, I will repeat that: American health care is expensive, but it does not help America to be healthy. So true, right? So um, I wanted to present to how I felt about this for years, and how I am my current work involves really making people healthy, right? So, so I thought I'll come and talk about this a little bit. See, this single sentence that American healthcare is expensive, but it does not help America to be healthy, is a core paradox of modern healthcare system. This is a system that excels at treating disease, but struggles to cultivate genuine wellness. Okay, that is my experience. Excellent care at treating acute illness, trauma, surgery, and all that, but struggles to cultivate genuine wellness out there. People are really not healthy or well. Okay, in the sense we know that, right? Very much. So I want to uh, discuss few points on that uh, attitude. As somebody who had worked inside the uh, healthcare system, I kind of saw the United States is going on now, increasing, spending more on healthcare than any nation on earth. There is no doubt about it. $1 out of every $5 goes to healthcare. So, yet we spend so much, yet we face a troubling reality of chronic disease, mental distress, and burnout. They continue their upward trajectory. If you take the trajectory, they have been going up and they are still going up. So longevity has increased, but vitality and meaning, so the essence of a life well lived, that is the essence of the life lived, vitality and meaning, they have declined. There is no doubt about that. We have become extraordinarily skilled at treating illness. but we have forgotten how to cultivate health. That's the truth. Okay, that's the fact. Okay, don't have to really show anything. Common sense will tell us that. Okay, so as I was looking at that kind of thing in 1980s and 90s, that was the case, but it was going up. So then I have to really study the system and also the study system around the world and study the systems in the past, the ancients, which I talk about all the time. And there is something very wrong with our lifestyles, right? That we are told that we can adopt them, but then we end up not having the good health, right? That is what is going on. So let's see. Maybe we can understand that better if you understand why this is happening, right? If you look at that way, why this is happening, you can easily see the lifestyles in one word. But then that's not enough, right? So if you take three major things, one is the intervention that we do is late. So say by design, we have this late intervention design. So healthcare is architected. The architecture of the healthcare is for crisis response, not prevention. We wait until symptoms become severe before acting. That's number one, generally. Okay. And also the incentives, the system rewards procedures and prescriptions and not quite work of the prevention and lifestyle modification. This is kind of misaligned incentives. You'll be healthy and better if you spend a lot of money on prevention and lifestyle modification, but we hardly have a system to do that. And then, how do we take responsibility for our own health? See, that is outsourced. We have delegated our health entirely to external systems, losing agency over our own well being. No agency, no self responsibility, right? That is something. So, because of the late intervention design, misaligned incentives, and outsourcing responsibility to something else, a sophisticated, technology rich, sick care system. It is a sick people, and sick caring the system is for the sick people. That's why sick care system. This is very remarkable and effective in managing disease, but fundamentally disconnected from the sources of health. What brings us health? I think on an individual basis, on a collective basis, we are kind of disconnected from the sources of health. Okay, this is like I've been a student of this for years and years, always questioning and always looking for solutions, right? And the EMRs came up. We were very optimistic that would help us to reduce the cost and increase the access, increase all of that. And we were thoroughly disillusioned by the crores and the not crores, but the billions of dollars we have spent for the EMR throughout the country, right? So what we find finally is a system under strain. The United States spends more on healthcare than any nation on earth, yet we face a troubling reality of chronic disease, mental distress, and burnout. Okay, that's what we talked about earlier too. So the system is under strain because of all these things that I mentioned. Okay, anybody has any ideas on that? You can come up and tell me. Before I kind of really go into that. Okay, all this intervention is really late, and we have the incentives in the healthcare are misaligned, and then we don't take care responsibility for our own health on an individual basis, on a society basis also. So that's a problem. Okay, so See, what is the missing dimension here is health does not begin in hospitals, clinics, or pharmacies. It does not begin there. The true health really begins in the texture of our daily living, in the countless small choices we make from moment we wake up till we go to bed. How we wake up, okay? The quality of our morning that sets the tone for metabolic and mental health throughout the day. I went into the metabolic and mental health right away. Okay, so and that's something people don't realize. Okay, and also fundamental thing like how we breathe. See, breathing regulates our nervous system, right? So many burnout, so many agitated, so many people really stressed out that I see, but yet most people go through entire life sometimes without awareness of this, how to breathe deeply often. I emphasize this very much. I do it, so I have a right to tell anybody. I'm not talking about a physician, I'm not doing anything else. I do the deep breathing as a practice as frequently as I can. That has become really big deal for my energy, for my thought control, for my lack of agitation and all that. So how we wake up is one thing. That's why the morning routine I do, I kind of make everybody understand why I'm doing it, what is involved in all that. And then how we are breathing. My morning routine is not just an exercise, okay? It is a combination of so many things, so many subtle things in the human being's life. Understand that, then you will get a lot out of that routine that you do with me, right? In that, breathing is a big deal too. And also, important point here is how we eat. See, nourishment affects not just our physical energy, but our cognitive function, how we think, how we feel, and all mood, and also long-term disease risk. Right? It affects all of them. So that's the third part. Then, how do we respond to stress? See, chronic stress is recognized as a root cause of inflammation and metabolic dysfunction. So this dimensional, say, foundational, okay, upstream and deeply personal. And apart from that, there's something else that is missing in modern life generally is how we relate to our purpose, meaning and connection are protective factors that influence both your mental health and also physical resilience. So this is a largely absent from modern healthcare delivery. How we wake up, how we breathe, how we eat, how we respond to stress, and how we relate to the purpose. Right? Americans many times you say, what is the purpose of life? They may want to make a living, they may want to have comfort and security for the family, they may want kids to send for education and research and all that. But beyond that, they may not have a philosophical definition of what is the purpose of a human being, right? Oh, just live well, just live well for a long time, don't have any diseases, and then no troubles in my life. That kind of things they may say, but that's too superfluous. There is a much deeper meaning that I kind of came across with the ancient wisdom. Anyway, that's immaterial now for this thing in the beginning, but ultimately it makes all the difference. Your purpose directs your mind directs your life, and then you have much more organized mind that way. Anyway, so this missing dimension, which is true health beginning in the textures of our daily living. All these different matters I was presenting to you, and you can think about that. I have I have observed this for a long time, and that's why I came up with so many things that were lucky in my, but it's very easy. Considering all this, I kind of introducing this uh, proactive wellness, PAW, PAW. See, PAW represents a fundamental shift from what is existing now, the reactive care, to what we want to go into conscious living. So when you go from reactive care to conscious living, it restores health, especially health responsibility, gently back to the individual. Individual has to take responsibility for it, not through feeling guilty or blaming others. No, not that. But getting education, getting the guidance, and getting empowerment. You should be motivated about, not when your health is disordered, even before that. So this is not about abandoning medical care. You can have that. But it's about recognizing that health is created between medical visits in the daily rhythms of life itself. For sure, if you have an appointment, you go and then get it done. For sure, you have something that you want to take the assistance of the provider. Sure, go there for sure. But then, what do you do between the medical visits, between the hospitalization? That's very important. Okay. This is not very glamorous. I know very few people come and listen to me, but I'm going to go and present it anyway because that's what I feel is my duty as a physician to bring forth what's going on in healthcare, why it's so expensive, but why so many people are getting chronically ill, why so many people are mentally ill, why so much of addiction, right? We can see that, you know. And actually, I expect people to understand the importance of it, not because I'm saying so, but because it's a fact. And then actually, you all have the responsibility to promote this in your own life, in your own systems, and thereby, you can live better, and you can also help the living healthcare in the proper way in this one, right? Let's look at uh, this system a little bit more, then you will understand what I'm talking about. So what I said was, this is not about abandoning medical care, but it is about recognizing that health is created between medical visits in the daily rhythms of the life itself. How you get up, what you do, how do you keep your purpose in mind, and all that. How to take responsibility for everything, right? So collective responsibility is there for everybody, and we need to pay attention to that. Maybe I'm bringing a notification to you guys, and you kind of uh, really understand what I mean by proactive wellness. Look at it in four different ways. This is not an alternate medicine. That's really insulting and also really ignorant way of describing this. This is a foundational medicine. This is the missing layer beneath all effective healthcare. Number one dimension I'm talking about is you want to act before disease manifests. Prevention is not about fear, it's about wisdom. PAW, proactive wellness, cultivates the conditions for health before pathology takes root. The balance that's already there, you want to do that. And that's the number one. Acting before disease manifesting, not prevention, but about wisdom of having how to keep our health well. Second thing is, how can we strengthen the resilience? See, we build capacity to adapt, recover, and thrive in both body and mind, rather than merely treating symptoms after they appear. You actually, that's the inner resilience by which I founded my company. That is what I was doing with a lot of people who comes to the, coaching for the burnout or stress and all that. And the third one is You want to live in alignment with the natural rhythms. Our biology responds to cycles: sleep, movement, nourishment, rest. Say all these fundamental patterns should be honored. And then PAW, proactive wellness, honors that. And then people don't really realize they have circadian rhythms, they can do, they can eat, and they can sleep accordingly, and you're much better off that way. Okay, common sense, simple thing that's in your hands, and you have to be aware of it and do it. Okay, not trying to blame or anything. I'm just saying missing out on simple things, and then cultivating awareness, not dependency. See, true health literacy means understanding your own body and mind. That is the true health literacy. Then you make informed choices and take ownership of your own well being. So, understand this for very well. What does proactive wellness mean? Is it is number one is really acting before disease manifests and strengthening your resilience, living in alignment with your natural rhythms. And the fourth, cultivating awareness of what's going on in your body and mind and not dependency. Okay? So, as such, the proactive wellness I talk about is not alternative medicine, it is foundational medicine, the missing layer beneath all effective healthcare. I want to be clear about that so that people understand why this is such a big deal. I'm making it such a big deal for everybody. Not for me, for the healthcare of everybody, wellness of everybody, lessening the suffering. That is the spiritual significance for me as I act, as I present. Even if one person gets his suffering low, I think I have done my job. Okay. I want everybody to do that, but they have to get into that, they have to investigate, they have to find out, and they have to understand. The very fact I don't get real recognition in these apps is that people are not interested in things unless they are very romantic, unless you promote them with lots of money associated. This is given freely, understanding higher ideals from the ancients. There was this physician god, he's called Dhanvantari. He always taught, and doctor means teaching, and he gave knowledge freely, and he inspired people to get better, and he did not take any money to do his doctoring. That appeals to me. Okay, I think we should be at least partially like that, right? So I'm introducing this in a big way so that people will take it to proactive wellness. What do? You want to improve your body vitality, and you want to calm your mind, and you want to have inner alignment, and you want to have a purposeful living. Let's take the first one: body vitality. How you move, how you nourish, how you sleep, and how you treat your digestive health. They all as a daily medicine. Get up and walk, move your body, and then nourish well and sleep well, rest well, and also pay attention to the digestive health so that you absorb properly and then your circadian rhythm is maintained. You eat when you're hungry, and then you work, and then you rest, and then all the waste products are gone. Then you get after it again you have the breakfast. Okay? And as I always say, move the body and keep the mind calm. Stress regulation, breath awareness, and cultivating the emotional resilience. Watch them. Don't get upset and get all this like it's a big deal. Even you're a mature human being, people lose their temper, anger, and talk like mad people. And they think that's a big show, big deal. Now, that's stressful for you. You get angry, that is stressful for you. Okay. The third thing is, how do I align with the natural rhythms? How do I know my inner self, that self knowledge? How am I aware of my habits? And also, am I stable inside? Am I aware of the inner stability? That is the inner alignment you need to have. That is where the ancients contributed a lot. And also, what is the meaning and contribution, connection to something larger than you? That is the purposeful living. So these four pillars: body, vitality, calm mind, inner alignment, purposeful living, each pillar supports the other. Together, they create a sustainable foundation for lifelong health. Sustainable foundation. Think about that. You don't have to accept just because I said so. But these are years and years of working in the current medical system and understanding, frustrated that a lot of people are not getting better. And my personal experience had been, I got sick, but I got better, and then I embraced this lifestyle, and I've been doing very well. So it's a kind of contributing to everybody else's health. Okay, so let me put it this way: the foundation of prevention is your daily movement as medicine, not exercise as punishment, but movement as restoration and joy. Just walk, just get up and be upright, just do my simple stretches. And then also, you want your nourishment for energy, choosing the foods that fuel your metabolism and support cellular repair, not for temporary pleasure. Okay, there's a lot of science in Ayurveda about how food is the absolute reality and how you make the food get those energies flowing in us and revamp our metabolism. There's a big science. I'm going to talk about some other time. And the third thing is, sleep is not just rest, but sleep as biological repair. See, body has this natural need for deep sleep, right? Why the deep sleep and rest? Because your cellular regeneration in our organs happens when you have the deep sleep. So don't compromise. Don't compromise even on the quality of the sleep. And then fourth one is the digestive health. See, understanding the gut as the metabolic intelligence and immune command center. Do you know gut is the immunity? All the layer of the GI is loaded with a lot of immune bodies. The biome, the microbiome we have is about 90% of us. And unless that is balanced, you are not good. So a strong, resilient body is the first line of prevention. So when we strengthen the body, we reduce the need for intervention downstream. That's why you want to be able to sit down and do the meditation. That was the essential of the yoga, right? So think of that. When you come to mind and awareness, that's a big deal. See, calm and resilient mind, how does it happen? You see, most of the chronic illnesses, they have become the new pathology, a silent driver of inflammation. That is the chronic stress does to you. You are always worried, always fearful, always anxious, even with the small things. That will be a problem, right? And that constant driver of inflammation, that chronic stress, it leads to metabolic dysfunction and eventually mental illness also. So, PAW, proactive wellness, I talk about, teaches breath regulation, attention training, and the art of responding instead of reacting. Say, a calm mind prevents unnecessary suffering and creates the mental space for wise decision making. Okay? And then, if you come to the bigger picture of awareness and inner alignment, most people live on autopilot. Check yourself. unaware of the patterns driving their choices. There are patterns that you cultivate and you leave them on autopilot and they drive your choices. Whereas PAW, the proactive wellness I talk about, cultivates not only awareness of your thoughts, your habits, and your emotional reactions that establish in a pattern. So, once you are aware of them, it helps any individual understand themselves beyond diagnosis. Okay? It's not about your personality, it's about the habits that you have cultivated. So, inner stability among external uncertainty is the missing nutrient of modern life. Outward storms are there, but you can go inward and to stay in that inner stability that you all have. Okay, not by medication, but naturally you have. Okay, so I hope that made sense to you. Okay, and I'm going to be doing more on the Saturday morning at 9 o'clock on why this PAW. Why should we pay attention to this? What is that I'm talking about? Okay, so we're going to make purpose as preventive medicine. So, of course, research already showed that health improves when life has meaning. People with a sense of purpose have lower rates of chronic disease, better mental health, and greater longevity. Service, contribution, and alignment with values are not soft concepts, they are protective factors. Humans thrive when connected to something larger than themselves. We know that, right? I always talk about this in the stress reduction classes I give. I tell them always ask what is that I am contributing to the institution rather than what is the institution doing for me. That's a very good way of reducing your own stress. Proactive wellness, as I'm talking about, that helps individuals to rediscover their purpose, not my purpose, their purpose. It's not a luxury, but as a biological and psychological necessity. Okay, that purpose becomes a real as preventive medicine. Hopefully that made sense for you. Anybody has any question? I don't see anybody has any acknowledgement or raising of the hands or anything. And you all work out with the wellness. So you should be thinking about what I'm presenting here, right? Hi, Hillary. Somebody followed me. That's good. But I would like to see, do you see the healthcare is not working like I do? I'm sure you are saying it. Do you see the fulfillment of health by the current system is not doing you any good? You may be going on. Do you live on autopilot or do you live conscious living? These are challenges. It's not questioning your integrity or anything, but it's a concern of a physician who sees the suffering all the time. Chronic illnesses is suffering, and mental illnesses are suffering. Lack of relationships are suffering, not connected to the larger causes of it. This also leads to suffering. And also, no meaning, no purpose, no joy in life. That is pretty calm. If you are having physical illness or mental illness or all the metabolic illnesses, you are not going to be joyful. So if you take the ancients alive, they were eating organic food that is not really cooked as much because they ate the fruits and vegetables and mainly fruits and also some milk and milk products. Not much of grains, right? Later on, the grains came up, right? And then how vital they were, how energetic they were, how calm in their mind they were. how stabilized in that nervous system. I kind of understood that in the presence of the external storms that we all see nowadays, with the earth going the way it is going, and we are threatened with the whole earth going out of existence. Along with that, we are where we're going. But there is hope that we could do a lot more to save the earth, right? So I'm very optimistic. I'm not threatened by it. Even if we're threatened, we know this whole thing is temporary, right? I remember one time, uh, Dalai Lama, he was going on a uh, hill, and he was pointing out, all this is temporary. This planet is temporary. This way we are looking at other planets, that's all temporary. Everything will be gone awesome. So it is anityam in Buddhism. Anityam, 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 sarvam anityam. Everything is temporary. It will be going away. Shunyam, shunyam, shunyam. Everything is empty, empty, empty. And then he says, if you don't realize this too, you have dukkham, dukkham, dukkham. If you hold on to things that you think they are going to be permanent, the preeminent political stature America enjoyed is eroding. It's a good multipolar. And we are exclusive, we can do things, that's also kind of illusion. Okay? How is that mental illness is so much in America? How is the addiction is so much? How is the relationship breaking down like anything? So if you don't pay attention to these limitations that were shown in the life, how are you going to resolve that? Right? But there is technology that is developed by so many people that could be used for some of the resolution, but not thinking that this is going to be permanent. That's an illusion. So understanding all that really transcends your suffering. You won't be suffering as much once you know these principles that Buddha talked about. And that's a very healthy condition too. If you are internally aligned with your true self, that's they call that self-realization, realization of the grand self that you have within, and that where mind is quiet and silent, and as such you won't have the stress hormones that much compared to what you are doing every day. You are breathing shallow because you are tense, you are, don't have the time, you're always worried about things to be done. But you can reverse that just by deep breathing. It's as simple as that. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to go on talking about this. I'm already done with what I wanted to say. So, anybody wants to come up? Peter, you want to come up? Or I hope this made sense to people. I have a lot of programs coming up with proactive wellness, where people will be looking at their lifestyles, of their current health and all that, and then they can go from there to what they want to achieve. Like I said, even if one person listens and thinks and comes to some kind of practical adjustment in their health, and then they improve their health, I made it. Right, Peter?
I'm one person.
Yeah.
I'm one person.
Yeah, that's enough.
Namaste, Dr. Rao. Namaste.
That's enough. So, but I kind of expect you to go and talk about this. So.
Yeah. So what really struck me when you talked about the term alternative medicine,
yeah,
and how it's such an injustice, and that's so true. Like, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Like, I almost want to say, how dare you say alternative medicine?
Yeah.
This is the real medicine, right? And the real wellness, and how in between those doctor's appointments, that's where health happens and wellness really occurs, right?
That's what
we've got it backwards.
Yeah,
we've got it backwards, I think, and not because we're not good people. It's because we.
You remember the word I used instead of alternate medicine? What was that word I used?
I don't remember.
Okay, I want to remind you. That's why.
Please.
Foundational medicine.
Foundational medicine. Okay.
See, what is missing that we want to get back to it? Our alignment with the nature, our alignment with the diurnal rhythms, our alignment with our inner self. Instead of allowing the minds to go all over, and we can use the mind for our own good. See, I talk about bliss, being in the bliss all the time. That's not like an exaggeration or something superhuman. It is it's a quality that we can measure up to. If only you understand, we don't have to chatter. We can start with the silence and be, and then do our work, and then come back to the silence again. Instead, what people are allowing autopilot into the chatter.
Autopilot. That's a great word for it, because that's what it is.
Yeah. How many people? One of the shots they get to me when they come and talk to me about their suffering, burnout, stress, and all that. I ask them, do you have that here and now, or do you have it in your mind? Ask that question, and immediately you'll be. I don't see it here, but I imagine that in my mind. I recollect in my mind. I memorize it. Yeah, that's why I say you guys are all stuck in mind. They get angry with me, but that's the fact.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck in the mind. Use the mind. See, when you step up outside and say, observe the mind, observe the thought, that means you are separating, you are creating a gap between that and you, the real inner self. Establishing that, come and use the mind. Wonderful tool.
Right.
But if you allow it autopilot, what is happening? Default networks are happening in your mind. And you do that every day, and then later on you say, I don't know why these thoughts are coming on their own. You see, very simple thing.
Autopilot. Yeah, autopilot. Autopilot. And when you do that, what you're talking about, like when you go back into thought, you're so much more efficient.
Yes.
And so much more calm and so much more clarity in your actions. I even move differently throughout the day.
You remember this morning I was telling about this Karmaju Kausalam? That is excellence in action.
Yeah.
See, I was telling them very beautifully about my corporate life. I was a CEO. So many years I have run so many things, right? So in that, boardroom meetings are there. I was kind of invited with the core team and all that. So when I go there, they are all oriented to the goals. I say, no, don't make goals. Say the direction in which you want to take the hospital to, and have those, tentative thing, what you want to do, but form a plan towards that. That plan has several steps. Any step that you do, be complete, not even attention on the goal.
Completely in that step.
Yes. And then you go to the next step. You go to iteratively help it. You kind of improvise as you go on. Yeah. So this is what they do, Ikigai, right? Every day, 1% they increase. They don't say, we have fixed everything. No, that's not the way it happens. You have to iteratively help yourself to improve the skill. So I was talking about the flow state. Why I'm flow, and most of the thing is, I have these challenges, sure, but do I have matching skills for that? When have that challenges are met with a sufficient skill, then what happens? I will be in the flow. When I'm in flow and doing it, I don't have the concern about the goal that I have. But most of the modern mind is about, oh, we established a goal, we have these smart goals and all that, we go there and all that. They will be worried if you go to tangentially to that way or this way, they will waste so much of energy in that emotional worry or depression, whatever that goes. This is an important thing to work every day. How do you work in the flow state? You don't spend any energy and you feel like time has passed and you have not realized that you have done so much work. I remember Bruce Lee, he was hired for some manual labor at one time, and he came in and he started to work, but he was in so flow. He did four people's work on that one particular day, and everybody else was angry with him because if you work so much, then the proprietor or the manager or the whoever is there, he's going to expect us to do the same, and we don't have the capacity to do it. What was there was his fine-tuned thought and mind was so focused on whatever he is doing, he didn't have to fight about thinking about the goal. He didn't have to fight about what could go wrong. None of it. All his attention completely into that. Many people see Bruce Lee, but they don't know how mentally strong he is. This is the mental strength is. Not allowing your mind to go with so many concepts, so many things that you think, oh, I can weave them with um, my articulation, my sounding of the words, concepts. You're all just in the turmoil of the thought, continuous, and then weaving more network into that and get caught in that. Make sense? Nobody responds. You could tell me whether you make goals and then you want to achieve those goals in the old fashioned way, or you just leave the goals after you make. You may have them in your mind, but then focus on the plan that you prepare towards that goal. Don't worry about the goal now. Worry about only the process. Can you do that? Can you be in the flow and work? Then you will do a lot of work. Okay, I do a lot of work, but I don't feel the effort or I don't feel the energy I have to expend and all that because there is no conflict in my mind about the future goal and what is being done. So my attention is on the what I'm doing right now. That will lead to the goal. So do the present very well. Future will take care of itself. You can learn from the past, but don't live in the past. Make sure that is applied here and now. This is called Karmaja Kaushalam, skill in action. This is the Karma Yoga that Krishna teaches Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Yoga Karmaja Kaushalam is the sentence that he teaches that. Very relevant to us. How are we? We are thinking number of things. We are getting more things to think about. We have more things to really worry about. And our attention is fragmented. Why? Because you don't know the mechanism how to keep attention. You don't want to learn because you know everything. But if you really look at why can't I maintain my attention? What's happening to my attention? Krishnamurti said beautifully, if you are not able to pay attention, at least be aware of your inattention. Then the inattention drops and you will be attentive to whatever is in front of you. And he wanted you to use the skill of perception. Perception of looking at something as it is here and now. Not bring the data from the yesteryear or projecting data into the future. You can use the data, but not focusing on that. Perception is looking at something as it is without bringing on the superimposed data on it. Hardly you can function like that. Many people are not perceptive. They may be using data, they may be using old things, even in relationships. You can use it in mechanical things. You can use this something that you are preparing, materialistic, that's fine. But when it comes to human beings, inner spirit, this doesn't work. Okay? Be perceptual. That means if you look at a flower and you say, oh, this is taxonomy is this, and anatomical name is this, and this is the function that goes on life in the flower, and I know the cell structure and all that, then you're missing the beauty, the presence of the flower. Don't name it. By allowing yourself to be naming it, you are stepping out of the perceptual mode, perceiving what is in front of you as it is. Peter is there. If I can see Peter as he is now, instead of bringing an image about, oh, Peter is my friend, Peter is kind, Peter is all this, then he may be angry with me and I miss him just like that. I may want to know why he is angry. Maybe I did something that makes him angry. Then I can meet him as he is here and now. Apply that to your relationships. Look at your wife, look at your children, look at your friends, how they are now, what they are bringing to the plate now. Not analysis, perception. Probably never thought about this, looking at something as it is. Or it has to fit your mental framework. Then you say, oh, they resonate with me, I resonate with them. You're not going to go anywhere with that. But if you are perceptive of what is in front of you, the whole thing changes everything. You are inattentive, you cannot pay attention to anything, but you are aware of your inattention, which is actually present now. Anyway, I don't know whether you guys are interested in this or not. I'm just going on talking about this, but be aware. Somebody coming, Peter is coming back. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting about, perceiving another person. I'll go out in nature and I'll do that, or I'll perceive, or I'll just observe and perceive my dog as I'm throwing the ball.
Yeah.
But I never thought about doing that maybe with a significant other or in a relationship. I think that really could enrich a relationship.
Exactly. As I said, Peter is here. I cannot bring my memory of Peter into this.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't also.
Yeah.
See, you guys engage in boosting ego of other people by saying kind words or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something you are inviting trouble into, because now you learn about inflating your ego, and suddenly somebody else comes and says something not that, then you are not resonating.
Your ego's gone. Yeah.
That's the suffering. That's the suffering that people.
Suffering, right.
And also, you want life to be in a certain way, but not able to meet life as it is here and now. See how much
There's
energy
so much peace in that.
I'll say, that's what I'm talking about. There's so much peace, and then so much energy saved.
Yeah.
Because I'm okay. I'm going on the road and suddenly there is a black clouds and then there's a storm. However much I complain, that's not going to go away. I should have seen the weather report. I should have prepared. And then that is what is happening to people. Autopilot. And they think, oh, we are very, very wise compared to the world of ancient people, because we have engaged in this perpetual thought mechanism.
Nonsense.
Yes. Actually, that is producing a lot of the burnout, lot of the stress because of this autopilot of thinking, and
Mhm.
allowing past and future everything come and crowd out the present. You're not living really.
Mhm.
You're only memorizing, you're only projecting for the future. But in this moment, are you able to meet the life with a silent mind?
Yeah.
Do that and see how much energy is saved, Peter.
There's a mental health epidemic,
Yes.
especially in this country and in the West, because of
Yes, they're all over the world right now.
that.
But look at. I always say I have the ever renewing energy.
Mhm.
I don't deplete it. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Being here, meeting the presence, and not expecting anything. Even if you expect, you are aware that you are expecting.
Yeah.
That flow thing I talked about, think about that and adopt it and see how much energy you will save, and also how much technical excellence comes into whatever you are doing.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
So I come to a room, something, I may say something that seems like I'm attacking you. No, what is truth at the time I'm meeting and presenting to you? You may not have the expectation. You may have the expectation, oh, somebody gives me this dopamine shot by praising me, by allowing me to think. That's how we create our own network thoughts.
Mm.
And we get caught in that.
Yeah.
Stop paying any compliments that are not needed, and see how dry everything becomes.
And quiet.
Because that's how people are relating now.
Quiet.
Oh, my
Yeah.
friend Peter, I'm going to give him a nice word or say he's so good and all that. Then you are inviting him to go up and fall down.
Right.
I don't have to do any
The
of that.
next person might not say that, right? And
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, this keeps you very young in your mind.
Mhm.
Because what you have to do, what is in front of you, as it presented in life, not what is supposed to be or what I want to be or what I remembered that should be recreated. Say, like,
Yeah.
went to the Grand Canyon in Arizona, and
Beautiful.
went there, spectacular, takes your breath
Mhm.
away. And I'm completely immersed in that. Other people are going, oh, we saw it, let's go and eat. So, lack of
Yeah.
perception of present, what is in front of you.
Mm. And we're missing that every day in a
Yeah.
lot of moments. Namaste. Thank you.
That is what I talk about. My experience with the nature is ongoing, continuous, always in the present. Whatever the nature reveals, I'm in touch with that. Not I want the snow is falling, and the other day snow is falling very heavy, and we look through the snow, the sun is shining like multiple rainbows on that. Beautiful. But we are perceptive about what is happening in front of our eyes. Not allowing the thought say, oh, so much snow, I have to clean it. None of it. And then we have the energy to do the snow. We did the snow. Icicles, dangerous weather to drive and all that. But all the trees around us, they form these icicles, and the sun coming through, they are like diamonds. Beautiful shot. You can be miserable about the temperature, about the ice and all that, but you could also see what is being revealed to you. There's a curve, and I drive from my home to the hospital. When you go into the curve, all these icicles with the sun going through them, they appear like diamonds. Beautiful shot. Like that, every day has its own beauty revealed. Are you in touch with that? Or are you so busy thinking, planning, measuring, judging, remembering, projecting? You're in your mind. You're not out of your mind. You are not touched with the life. It's a very healing thing if you can do it. Okay, thank you. And anybody else wants to come up or send me DMs, you can do that. If anything appeals to you, anything is not clear to you, anything that you want to understand, you're free to talk to me. I am open. I'm not going to judge you, but my intention is how can you make daily living as proactive wellness measure in the things that you eat, in the exercises that you do, in the breathing that you do, drinking water, you know, in how you think, how you handle your emotional self. All these things were examined and taken to the highest at one time. We conveniently forgot all that and we thought everything is outward there and we can take a lot of medications, get our health okay. But we have become like a dependency on that. I'm showing you all the time. I don't take any medication. 2014 is the last one when I had the stroke and all that. They said you have to be on the Plavix and aspirin for your entire life. I didn't argue with them. I just did not take it. And I did not take aspirin or Plavix till now. But I don't advise the people to take it off. You got to adjust your lifestyle. I'm more mobile. I am more calm in my mind. I don't have anything stressing me out. On the other hand, I work with people to get rid of their own burnout and stress. Right? My life is very purposeful, very meaningful, very happy and blissful. So that anybody can have. That's my point. Understand yourself, understand your dynamisms, understand your way of living. Don't be sold by all this propaganda. But think about it, question it, research it, find out. And then once you say, this is the truth about me, I used to say to my patients, I may ask you a small change, but the small change has to be permanent. If I ask you, cut down the oil or cut down the salt, that's a permanent change. If I ask you, go and walk at least 30 minutes a day for 5 days, that's a permanent change. Don't sit down in the chair all the time. Get up and walk a little bit in the room every half an hour. Permanent change, right? Thank you. And I'll be doing the special room on Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, on all these channels on the why proactive wellness in a much more detailed way. Today is just that news item I heard. America is the most expensive healthcare country with really not healthy America. That is true. Worried well, neurotic, stressed out, burnt out, and many chronic diseases. Can't get up and walk, can't do anything, can't focus anything. Attention is taken away by so many things. You got to take a medication to sleep and medication to cut down your everything, right? Don't need. You can take them for a while, but once you cultivate, once you understand what is the lifestyle I'm leading that is causing to my illness or aggravating my illness or not making me any progress on the medications, then you go to the root causes if you can find and correct it. Western reductionism shows you only few things, but Eastern wisdom shows you very subtle things within yourself. But if you say, I have an ego, I'm they like this, I know better than anybody else, God save you. You will be impairing your own health by taking that kind of stand. But if you say, I'm also a human being, everybody says human being, we're all in one tribe. So I'm not exceptional compared to anybody else. I'm not alone. Then you will live with a larger connectivity, right? So then if you don't feel the loneliness, you will be one with everybody. Then you don't have anybody to fight. So take care and be proactively well. Do one thing every day. Change the diet. or exercise more, whatever that appeals to you, that is easy for you to do. And you are welcome to come to my morning routine in the morning. Around 8 o'clock, we do that. And you come to my rooms, on and off, I do it between my appointments and all that. And I have a method what I'm doing. I want wellness for the individuals, for the professionals, for the systems, for the technologically healthy, and we help the planet to be well. So all these things are on my plate. So I have a lot of things I do very meaningfully, purposefully, and get a lot of happiness from it. Like I said, 1% changes, that's enough for me. Thank you. Bye bye.